Keisha and Seanad Mihal McDougall.
5 years ago and 8 months ago, you as Taoiseach delivered an address to this House 9 months after your appointment as Taoiseach on St. Bridget's Day, Law Féile Bríde. You told us that you wanted to share your thoughts on the reform of Irish politics. You told us that while you had originally supported abolition of the Seanad, that the people had spoken and that matter would not be revisited. You told us that your programme for government committed you to the implementation of the Manning Report, and you added, "I am happy to do so." You told us that a committee would be established to consider and report with specific proposals to implement the Manning Report. You said that your time frame was to put in place changes that will be used to elect the Seanad after next. That's the next general election. In other words, the Seanad would be elected on a new basis after the forthcoming general election in a year's time. Now, you said, and I quote, "There will be universal suffrage using the panel system, allowing people to choose which one suits them best." You promised provision for online registration and downloading of ballot papers. You said that you would also implement the referendum of 1979 to open up the university franchise to all third-level graduates. You promised one person, one vote. You promised Northern Ireland members, but you dropped Ian Marshall. You praised the work of Billy Lawless and said that you support the election of more diaspora senators, but you dropped Billy Lawless. You did none of the things that you said you would do on that day. The all-party Seanad Reform Implementation Group, which I chaired, carried out its functions and presented you with a report in late 2018, that same year. When I met with you subsequently to discuss the report in your office, you indicated to me that the government would not legislate on the matter and would only permit a free vote among Dáil deputies if the bill was introduced by anybody else. I regret to say that that discussion in your office concerning your proposed reform of Seanad Éireann marked the lowest point of political cynicism that I've encountered since being elected to the Oireachtas in 1987. We have here today in the Chamber Tomás Heenan, who brought a court challenge to force you to reform the Seanad right across the board as you had promised. He partly succeeded in the Supreme Court recently, where your government sent its Attorney General to seek another 5 years to bring about even the university bill reform. He succeeded in the Supreme Court as far as the university seats are concerned, but there has been no further indication of willingness to reform the way in which this chamber is elected. Under your stewardship, every commitment you personally made on the 1st of February 2018 in this House, and which some of us were naive enough to believe, have been cynically discarded. There will be a political price to pay for reneging on the political promises you made to us on the 1st of February 2018. Just have to look at the newspaper today, and I ask you to look at the newspaper today and to take a long, hard look in the political mirror and ask yourselves, is there not going to be a very heavy political price for breaking commitments of that kind made in public and made in accordance with the expressed wish of the Irish people to reform this chamber? They voted to retain this chamber. They were promised by successive governments, including by yourself in this chamber, that there would be reform, and there has been cynical abandonment of all of that, so that in the programme for the present government, there isn't even a mention of Seanad reform. Shame on you, Taoiseach. You have time to make some redress for this abandonment of your commitments, and I'm calling on you now to do so.
Well said.